On Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. The next game up is Italy taking on Slovakia. Hi everyone and welcome. Ralph Pinorchik alongside Lee Borko, bringing you action from Group D, the final day of pool play, the final couple of games getting set to face off. Italy at 3-0, looking to sew up a spot in the top 5, while Slovakia is 2-1. With victories over Denmark and a 1-goal nail-biter against Greece, while the Italians have handled their business pretty comfortably to try to sew up the spot. France is in second at 3-1, but Slovakia, even with a win here, they would lose the tiebreaker to France. So, Lee, here we go. It's an Italian attack that has been expected to be excellent on paper. Ryan Bell of Providence and the Piatelli brothers, who both played at Cornell, have been excellent, and they have hit the ground running immediately. That's what's made head coach Brian Vona very happy. They have a potent attack unit that we'll see as they try to sharpen up ahead of what could be a championship run here at the Euros.
Most definitely. I've seen a couple of their games. The attack is extremely potent. They also have a solid face-off player who's, the games I've seen, is winning the majority of the face-offs. So that, along with all those extra possessions they're getting, they're going to be extremely difficult to beat.
Slovakia in the blue on blue. Italy will be in the white on white. This is the best weather day so far of this tournament, and it took until Sunday. We got started on Wednesday night. The sun has been out. It's actually been hot all day. Yesterday we had a glimpse of good weather in the mid-afternoon, the rest of the day, but finally summer has arrived in Wrocław, or returned. They had pretty good weather about a week before we got here. And for Slovakia, they're coming in off of a loss at the hands of France, where they gave up man-up goals. They were sitting back playing man-down defense for the entire third quarter. The game got away from Slovakia. That was their one loss. And otherwise, the comfortable victory over Denmark 9-3, but the France loss was 12-5, 8-7 over Greece. One of the top face-off men in this tournament is Angelo Venuto, facing off for Italy. And just finishing up a tremendous college career at RIT, Division III program, where he had a great career also as an offensive player too, scoring a lot of goals in transition. And facing off, the primary face-off guy for Slovakia is Stanislav Pergot, one of the captains of Slovakia. Venuto, face-off win. And he'll drop it off to the attack, and Italy gets started on offense with John Piatelli owning an NCAA record 66 goals in a single season in 2022, helping Cornell go to the national championship game where they lost to Maryland in Hartford. He's joined by his brother Brian Piatelli, and 14 in white in Ryan Bell. The first midfield of Matteo Corsi, Gabriel Serbu, and Mitchell Zulian. The goalie for Slovakia is Anthony A.J. Babini, who will start his freshman year at Division I Bryant in Rhode Island. He's a native Canadian with Slovakian roots. A feed inside of the bouncer misses by Zulian, and the backup will keep it here with the Italians. Then a shot, and that's pinged in quickly. No closeout on Brian Piatelli. And Bell quickly fed him, and it's 1-0.
That was a tremendous goal. He took it low, opposite pipe. Goalie had no chance on that one.
So Brian Piatelli just finished his Cornell career, played in 2024, was his senior year. And the brothers getting a chance to reunite. Venuto won the first face-off cleanly. And Venuto pushes ahead past Pergot, and he's got another. And Angelo Venuto. And instantly this appears like it's going to be a big problem for Slovakia. Can they slow him down and at least find a couple of strategies to contain the fast break? Brian Piatelli, and coming on Matteo Corsi. Corsi just finishing up his career at Brown University. Swung outside for Romanian descent, native Italian, Gabriel Serbu. On the first midfield, shot from distance as buried. Whoa, Mitchell Zulian with real heat. That may have been a yard behind the restraining line, 2-0.
So far, Italy's been able to have open time and room shots. Excuse me, I have a little cold. But Slovakia's going to have to come out and press those shots. It's too easy at this point.
And what can they do in the face-off X? It's been a problem for everybody so far in this group with Greece, France, and Denmark. This one pushed forward, decided on the wing by Luca Lietti. And Lietti will cross. Then with the ball on the ground on this natural grass surface, we get a loose ball push against Slovakia. So the Slovakians understanding anytime the ball is perhaps out, they've got to get it with the Venuto factor. We have a player shaken up for Italy. Look like Riccardo Gennari, their LSM. So Italy will have possession. And Italy with Corsi, misspoke before with Angelo Venuto having played at RPI, different schools than RIT. RPI is located in the Albany region. Back behind Bell, swings outside. A zone look here for Slovakia. Then the feed in front, the knockdown by the Slovakian defense. Martin Kramar with Jackson Hartja. The Pole, Callan Murphy, the other defenseman, Branislav Adam. Zone look remains, and then Corsi kind of floats a pass. Perhaps it was deflected, and the ground ball vying for it. 23, Martin Kramar. And Kramar down the middle. Slovakia will have their first chance at a possession here with high schooler Christian Babini, along with Stefan Flaska, head coach Jan Flaska's son. And the other midfielder here, 92, Griffin Schutz, will possess the attack for Slovakia. Ivan Chernak with Samuel Postma and Eric Lichtner. And goal for the Italians, Michael Ippoliti from Farmingdale, New York, heading into his sophomore year at Syracuse University. His grandfather traces his roots back to Sicily. Sun's still out. Temperatures have dropped a little bit, very comfortable conditions. And Slovakia hoping for very patient sets today, trying to limit the possessions of this game. Again, with the factor of Angelo Venuto's facing off, more possessions could mean a substantial advantage for Italy. Schutz, and now a flag is out against Italy. Free shot. However, with the short restraining box, Slovakia steps out, but we'll see the important Slovak man, extra man coming. So Luka Lietti, D-Mini takes the foul. And Slovakia will bring on a big shooter in Jake Nanaski here up top, number 4. Got a 6'6" lefty. Chernak is the crease attackman inside. Postma moves along. Samuel Postma rolls through, then takes the bouncer, and Ippoliti was expecting it. Michael Ippoliti making the first save. Still down a man after a slash. So Italy can spread the field with their defense of Steven Pelliccioni, Jake Gagliano, and Owen Vona with the long pole in Riccardo Gennari. He'll swing to Ippoliti, who did score the lone goalie goal of this tournament against France on a full field dash. They get the clear ahead to Jake Gagliano from Syosset on Long Island. He drops it off. Gagliano, this will be the end of his lacrosse career at the moment. He's going to be just a student at Cornell. And Bell swings back for Corsi. And Italy in control here early, 2-0. Played about 7 minutes, and the Slovakian zone gets set up. Feet to the front, and another one. Bell is able to thread a needle with the pass. First of the game for John Piatelli.
Bell's definitely their quarterback against France. He had 5 or 6 assists. He's the man who runs the show back at X. That was a beautiful pass and a cut for another goal.
Each Piatelli brother has scored, and they are both from Massachusetts, and I'm sure enjoying the latest moment together. John Piatelli, an active National Lacrosse League player after his standout career at Cornell. We get an early timeout here called by Jan Flaska of Slovakia. And to talk this over and also talk face-off strategy, which we've seen, there's been some haves and some have-nots in the face-off game here at the European Lacrosse Championships. And what a massive separator it shows itself here, Lee, when we've seen a bunch of games be 80% plus for one team facing off.
That's a huge advantage. It's you know, possession after possession wears down the defense. They get frustrated, but if if you have 80% of the possessions off face-off, it's a huge advantage. And so far, like I watched France for 2 games, they were dominating the face-off until they played Italy, and the opposite happened. And France was 2-0, and it made a huge difference in that game.
Yeah, France with a nice face-off duo of Remy Giacoto, who was their #1 face-off guy 2 years ago in San Diego, and the improvement of Adrien Prefontaine to become the #1, and France felt very good about their face-off situation. Still do, but Angelo Venuto is facing off at an incredible rate. Venuto just closing out his career at Division III RPI.
He was I looked up, I believe he was 3rd team All-American this past year in all of D3.
And Venuto had a face-off percentage of 62% over his 5 years at RPI, 66% this year. But what also impressed me about Venuto, Lee, was in his career, 41 goals, 32 assists. So obviously some of that was off face-off transition, but other times he was staying on and being as an active midfielder. Face-off win again, Venuto. RPI this year lost to Dickinson, who eventually reached the national championship game against Tufts in NCAA Division III. Another possession for Italy. And Slovakia knew going in they may have to try numerous things, at least to not be overwhelmingly dominated on possessions. And Italy will come on again with Gabriel Serbu, 97 Mitchell Zulian, and 7 Matteo Corsi, their first midfield. And Slovakia stays in the zone look. Corsi, room and time for the rip, and that is a narrow miss for Brian Piatelli.
He was going for that tough left corner.
Piatelli again, this one deflected and handled by the stick of Anthony Babini. A.J. Babini now will try to start the clear as Slovakia gets a stop. As they hand it off here for Christian Babini. The two are cousins along with Callan Murphy. Three cousins from the Toronto area, but the trail check, and here comes Corsi. Running the field off for Bell. And the ball, even on this grass, will skip out of play, and a missed opportunity for Italy with a 3-0 Italy lead. And now we have offsides signaled against Slovakia. Oh yeah, there is a flag down. So Italy will go man up. Slovakia against France, committing numerous penalties in the third quarter of their game against France. They lost 13-5. They spent an estimated 13 out of 15 minutes down a man. And players have talked to me, their coaches often about when we're here, Lee, talking about these games, that they're getting adjusted to both the college, the NCAA, U.S. players, North American players, and foreign players getting adjusted to the officiating. Bell picks it up on the man up, which is just a 30-second. Corsi gives it back to Zulian. Bell probes, and with such quickness for the Smithtown Long Island product. Room and time, John Piatelli off the stick of A.J. Babini just as the penalty had expired. Bell, though, will grab this ball, and we'll go back to 6-on-6. But there are 3 officials for each game. Curling in front, unable to finish, John Piatelli low, and the ball will finally go to Slovakia.
That was an excellent save. They taking some of the pressure off. Let's see about the clear on this. So far, Slovakia has not had possessed the ball very long.
Just one true possession for Slovakia, and they had a man up. Babini is stripped. Pursuing the ball, John Piatelli. Piatelli to Cage to his left hand. A disaster for Slovakia. Second straight for John Piatelli, 4-0. A.J. Babini, as a young player that's about to get adjusted to the next level as an 18-year-old, held on to it too long.
Big difference from high school to this level. These are all a lot of college players and have a lot of experience. You were talking about officials before. We actually on a train talking to one of the head officials. And the biggest challenge if you've got officials from all over, not just Europe, but from Asia and all this, and they're trying to meld the philosophy and the rules to be the same, how they do things. So it's a big adjustment here. I know 3 years ago we were here, and it took a while to understand. But you know, once you do, you adjust.
John Piatelli, face-off by Venuto, winning it to the wing. That time Stanislav Pergot faced off with a pole. So the primary face-off man for Slovakia has already tried that adjustment. Room and time for Serbu. Now outside, and a slam dunk for Brian Piatelli. Gabriel Serbu kind of shot it, fake shooting it, and then it ends up on the stick of Brian Piatelli, who's got his second, 5-0.
It looked like he had a little hesitation on that shot. Let everybody go by and ripped it in.
Now Slovakia will change up the face-off and try Matush Marani. Face-offs so much as matchups when you hear coaches talk about that sometimes you run into a guy that you just don't match up with, but Venuto says forget that, motors ahead, Venuto to goal, and it's in. Angelo Venuto racing ahead, 6-0 Italy.
Now we see why he scored all those goals.
And I'd love to get a breakdown, as I said in my last Italy broadcast, Lee. I'd love to get a breakdown of how many he scored directly off a face-off transition relative to playing first midfield. Because it is unlike a face-off guy to have that many even shots. He had 25 shots this year, 8 goals, 5 assists. As a second-year player, 22, he had a 5-year career. He had 14 and 7, as well as being the #1 face-off guy. So Clean face-off win again for Venuto. So he must have played some first midfield to accumulate that many goals.
He might have stayed on, you know, and instead of running off. Obviously, he has a great shot and stick, so it wouldn't be a disadvantage to keep him on there.
And Venuto playing for his former high school coach, and Brian Vona, who is his head coach over at Lincoln Sudbury High School in Massachusetts. So they are reunited again. Brian Vona has known Angelo Venuto since the 5th grade, and he was always a face-off guy. Here was a strip and a grab by Slovakia. Here's Simone Tome, who just arrived last night, number 34, and the layoff here to 17 on the step down, Eric Lichtner. 6-1.
That was a great transition on there, picking up the ground ball. They had numbers, an excellent pass down onto the right attack for an easy goal.
Finally, Slovakia able to get a possession, and Lichtner in a great area after Ippoliti made an earlier save. And back to the X for Venuto, and returning is Stanislav Pergat. Pergat is a real leader, hype guy, hustle, captain, native of Slovakia, and a real energy guy for their country. Venuto, again, same move. And then Venuto forced to veer back and then does his job. Angelo Venuto is also an ice hockey player. His younger brother is going to follow him, Dante, to play at RPI. And perhaps someday we'll see Dante Venuto someday play for Italy along with Angelo. Here's Matteo Corsi. Piatelli to Piatelli. That was John to Brian, but they could not connect, and that's the end of the first quarter. Venuto dominating in the face-off X. Each Piatelli brother with 2 goals. On and on it goes for Italy. 6-1 as we go to the second quarter. You're watching the 2025 Men's European Lacrosse Championship on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV. Start of the second quarter, Italy in control, 6-1. Slovakia continuing to try to answer the face-off question. They put 2 players back, and they concede a face-off on the wing here to Luca Lietti, the D-mid. And then Lietti then is double-teamed and stripped. Ground ball grabbed by Stanislav Pergat, and here's a chance, first chance to run for the attackman. Shuts down low, and the shot missed by the lefty Simone Tome. Box lacrosse player on the box team for Slovakia, arriving last night, but he brings a left hand that can add a new dimension for Slovakia. And Lee Borko, maybe we just saw a strategy that Slovakia can use a few more times. They ended up getting the turnover after granting Italy a possession, but not a fast break.
Yeah, they once the face-off guy gave up the ball, they went to attack, and the D midi that was on the wing side.
Mark Lichtner, 21, coming in to get an offensive midfield run. Stefan Flaska. Stefan has an open man. Lichtner spins out, then takes a quick shot. Ippoliti. The officials look. There's a man in the crease. The ball stays out for Michael Ippoliti. In this case, with the way the crease has gotten beat up with mud and rain the last couple of days, that might have helped him.
Yeah, it just sat there like it looked like it was spinning on like a top and just stayed out of the goal. I agree. We had a lot of wet weather. Now it's drying up, and that crease on the grass fields always gets beat up.
Italy with another possession, their second of the quarter. John and Brian Piatelli, each with 2 goals. Ryan Bell, 2 assists. Venuto and Mitchell Zulian, the other 2. Matteo Corsi now identifying D midi Stefan Flaska, high schooler at the Deerfield Academy, where he plays for his father. There's a shot and an easy save for Babini. Rebound, Zulian tried to go behind the back. Somehow it stayed out. Maybe it hit pipe. And Slovakia has backup. A whirling shot from Mitchell Zulian.
That was a great move, but it just happened to not go in. I couldn't tell it whether it hit the side or was a save.
So Babini will send it over. Stefan Flaska. And for Nanaski, so Slovakia has stabilized the game in some ways as we played 3.5 minutes and trying to get themselves back on offense and try to execute. It's a very young Italy defense I haven't mentioned yet in Gagliano and Owen Vona, both high schoolers. Owen Vona, Coach Brian Vona's son at Lincoln Sudbury High School, just 17 years old. And Gagliano, high schooler, class of 2025, and then Stephen Pelliccioni. Pelliccioni playing lacrosse in Canada, where he was primarily a goalie and now is an assistant coach in Canadian lacrosse. So they're young on the back end there with 2 teenagers. And then 29-year-old Riccardo Gennari of Italy is the long pole, in front of a rising sophomore, so still a teenager, likely in Michael Ippoliti. Stall warning is on against Slovakia. Christian Babini, himself a high schooler in Virginia, shovels the pass off for Nanaski, and Nanaski with the ball coming out. That's probably a break for Slovakia because it slows down some Italy transition. They quickly have the pickup, and Bell will be stopped before getting rid of it to Brian Piatelli. John Piatelli, quick shot, expecting it there on the doorstep was A.J. Babini.
He's made some big saves in this second quarter.
He's kept the score where it was at the break. Griffin Schutz, he'll take the shot on the run. 6-2.
Schutz was there in the last game I did. He was their go-to guy. He's a big body, knows how to use it, and it was excellent shot and on the low shot. The goalie didn't expect that one.
So 6-2, and Slovakia perhaps feeling like the worst could be behind them. And now they'll attempt to solve this face-off issue here. Venuto escapes again. This time was facing off against a pole. So a true pole that was facing off. Actually, that was Ivan Chernok, the attackman, who was facing off with a pole. So Slovakia really trying numerous things to try to slow him down. Meanwhile, the goal by Griffin Schutz, who was selected in the PLL draft. He's a product of the University of Virginia. And honoring his heritage playing for Slovakia. The cut, Piatelli off the stick of Babini. We have a flag down though. And they're saying too many men against Slovakia, Lee. Now they must have tried to come on and then went back off. But the fourth official caught it. Again, 4 officials in these games. And as Lee, you were starting to mention before, there's been a big adjustment into how little is allowed compared to some of the other leagues that the majority of these players play in and grow up used to, either in North America or in their local leagues in their local countries, where they may allow a lot more with just one official in some of those senior league games. Piatelli across. Oh, beautiful fake. Mitchell Zulian had to come down with it. And a terrific pass. It's 7-2. Zulian was making sure that his feet were going to be okay and to stay out of the crease. And he got a pass. I think it was Brian Piatelli.
I know we've had early on a lot of issues. It's a different rules for the substitution box internationally than you'll find, and they've really strict on looking at that. Where U.S. games, I mean, they're a little bit liberal on the substitutions on and off.
Face-off win. Venuto looking, and it has his second. And once he gets his motor going, you have perhaps a quarter of a second to decide, are you going to slide or stay back? 8-2.
Huge advantage. I mean, he's so quick also once he gets it.
And Angelo Venuto continuing to be the story for Italy in this tournament. And certainly Bell and the Piatellis have produced, but they've gotten so many possessions. Timeout is taken here by Slovakia ahead of this face-off that Matusz Marani was about to take. And the Slovakian staff, in talking to Greg Tiers, their offensive coordinator, who played at Harvard via Seton Hall Prep, and who has Slovakian heritage, and Jan Flaska. They have a number of things that they know they're going to be prepared for. Unfortunately, they may have tried all of them, and none has shown any consistency to have a long-term impact in the face-off X.
It's become a huge advantage for Italy. And not only, he's scoring off of that also. It's not just the possessions.
And the offense that Angelo Venuto has created, too, with his speed getting there. There's been good face-off guys in this tournament. A number of the top teams have them and have dominated, but he is creating probably the most offense out of any face-off guy in this tournament.
Most definitely. I mean, I've seen a lot of games so far now, and yet to see someone consistently bring it out and attack the goal from the face-off X like he has. You need to think what kind of strategy can they work on that?
Slovakia has already put 2 players back on their own end line here at the far end, and they've conceded the face-off, drawing it back. And that still hasn't quite worked, so here's another chance for Stanislav Pergot, who goes back to facing off with a short stick. And they put their pole on the far side of the field in Jackson Hartja. And Venuto back to his left, and he'll drop it off this time. And a well-designed play here for Lietti. Probably could have ran out himself that time, but flips it back.
Slovakia is still bringing their long stick wing guy at midfield. And we were talking about they might want to put in a more defensive position and try to cut him off as he's rushing the goal.
Julian swings for Brian Piatelli. Will dodge around the pole. Then they look to drop it off, and there's a knockdown. Active stick of Martin Kramar. And the handle from A.J. Babini. So Slovakia has shown they can get stops in the 6-on-6 just enough if they could eliminate the transition game. And right now, out of the 8 goals, 2 have been clearly off of Venuto transition.
Let's see if Slovakia can settle it down and knock one in, make it a little more of a game, put a little more pressure on Italy.
Nanaski on with Flaska and Mark Lichtner. So Schutz gets a breather. Griffin Schutz was just an honorable mention All-American his senior year this year at the University of Virginia, but he played for Jan Flaska, or coming up through the Deerfield Academy, and he knows Stefan Flaska, so this is a great reunion for him. There's Stefan. Lichtner. Flaska looking to roll off. It was not open. Slovakia got to within 6-2 early this second quarter. Pass floated for Nanaski. Flaska to his left, and the bouncer, and again Ippoliti reading shots very well. Michele Pancani, captain of Italy, came up with a ground ball, but then it's knocked down on the ensuing clear and handled by Branislav Adam. And Slovakia back with another possession. Flaska to try to dodge against Pancani again. Now Schutz returning to the lineup for Slovakia. And Schutz get the other D-midi assigned to him and Lietti. Griffin Schutz on the first led the Virginia offensive midfield this year in goals.
Yeah, Luca!
With 16, 9 assists. Flaska. Down it comes Lichtner. And he missed to the short side. Slovakia having backup. And they appear to be starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm offensively. Having a couple of extended possessions. Schutz.
Yeah, Luca!
And the shot blocked. Again, good defending by the D-midi Luca Lietti to prevent a clean follow-through for Schutz. Now a timeout for Slovakia with 2:29 left. Second quarter, second and final timeout here for Jan Flaska of Slovakia.
Definitely has been a more even second quarter than the first, and it looks like Slovakia is settling in now on offense. Got a few turnovers.
Well, it appeared a timeout was granted. I don't know why they blew the whistle. So Slovakia with it. Eric Lichtner, as he tries to retreat from the defenseman. And now Stefan Flaska got his wheels going. Met quickly by a jab by Steven
Here
Pelliccioni.
we go, Luca!
Slovakia has to start further back closer to midfield with Schutz. Schutz barreling ahead, got it to the crease, and the shot missed in tight. Thomas Lichtner came in on the sneak, 77 in blue. He was open. The Slovaks still have backup with under 2 minutes left. Schutz physically again. And the pass, Ippoliti will come up with a steal. However, a flag is down.
Ippoliti's very active and very vocal.
1 minute cross-check is called against Stephen Pelliccioni of Italy, as Griffin Schutz banged through him. And a key man up. Schutz from an angle, dips the stick head and finishes beautifully. That was one that Ippoliti, who normally anticipates shots so well, and Schutz comes up with a layup on a bouncer, 8-3.
It was a good possession by Slovakia. Took their time. And they got the matchup, finally got the matchup they were looking for.
Timeout taken by Italy here to preserve some time for a possession. Good timeout here by Coach Brian Vona, as he is having the moment of a lifetime to coach his son Owen, starting on defense, just 17 years old, and being around a lot of guys that he looks up to and aspires to be. Owen Vona is already committed to play at RPI as a high school 2026. So they'll spend the timeout and expecting a face-off win and wanting enough time to run a 6-on-6 offense. But Slovakia had cut it to 6-2. And now 8-3, and the Slovaks will ask their defense to come up with one more stop, as they've at least settled the, perhaps contained might be the better word, or brought down some of the face-off dominance that Venuto has had.
Yeah, because he still won all the face-offs, but the defense is definitely locked down a lot better than the first quarter. And they've gotten some turnovers and had good clears and set up their offense. The first quarter looked like Italy was scoring at will, and they're having a much harder time this second quarter.
Slovakia will summon Stanislav Pergot. No, actually, it won't be Pergot. It's going to be Matusz Meyer D-midi again, so they'll put Pergot here near side. And they are going to put the pole on the wing in Jackson Hartja about even at midfield.
I know, then you're just into it, yeah. Let's go, Italy!
Meyer and Venuto forced back and takes it himself. And then shovels it back to Owen Vona. So Slovakia prevents transition, and they're going to make Italy earn it here in the final seconds of the first half. Ippoliti with the outlet to Matteo Corsi. Half minute to go.
Move it! 30 seconds.
Corsi past Meyer. Two players on him. Italy still making changes through the box. Corsi, 10 seconds to go. Ryan Bell fed the pass through. It carried through. And time is going to expire. Well, just 1.9 remaining. Slovakia will have it. They do get the stop at the end of the half. And Slovakia perhaps feeling like they are within striking distance. It's 8-3 Italy at halftime.
Most definitely, the Slovakia. In fact, I think they won that quarter, and have a lot of confidence going into the second half. And now they feel they can play with Italy.
8-3 at the break. We'll be back in 10 minutes on World Lacrosse TV and Lax TV from Wrocław, Poland at the 2025 Men's European Lacrosse Championship. unfortunately, Lee Borko, Ralph Bienorczyk onside here in Wrocław, Poland. It was a 6-2 game at early second quarter. Angelo Venuto continues to win faceoffs, but Slovakia has just found ways to get stops 6-on-6, contain the damage off of faceoff wins. Venuto already has 2 solo goals off of faceoff wins and dashes. And they will try again here with Matusz Marani to face off as we're getting ready for the start of our third quarter. Pleasant conditions. Final day of pool play. Just one other game taking place as we speak, and then the playoff bracket, the knockout round bracket, will be officially revealed in about a couple of hours, and there are still some positions and seeding still to be decided. Venuto wins. Right back to Luca Lietti. The other fascinating aspect here, Lee Borko, about Angelo Venuto, when you're adjusting to international officials, I think he's the only guy I haven't seen false start at all. That hasn't happened yet.
No, you're right. I haven't not seen that.
And through 2 games so far, seeing Italy, if not my third, I can't even remember now. But he has yet to false start. So that in itself is quite a feat. When you have experienced face-off guys all over that may need a couple just to adjust to international rules and the cadence. Zulian, zone look remains for Slovakia to open up this third quarter. And they found some stops. Bell outside, and the ball dropped by Gabriel Serbu, but he recovers. Bell swings outside. Serbu, shot is blocked. Taking the punishment, Stanislav Pergot playing with a pole again. And the energy guy, the hype guy for Slovakia Lacrosse drops it off. Slovakia gets the stop on defense. And they've got a possession to cut it to 4 again.
Let's see if Slovakia can keep that momentum from the second quarter.
Nanoski and swings back behind for Eric Lichtner. They had success from the dodging of Griffin Schutz, scoring 2 goals in the second quarter, including 1 in transition. Stefan Flaska behind. Slovakia's goal was to have more patient offensive sets. Be an interesting balance when you're trailing by 5, how patient to be.
They still have time. It's just the start of the second half.
Nanoski swings high. Lichtner, save made Ippolini. Uncontested ground ball from Samuel Postma. Nanoski, as he races and rips, but misses over the crossbar. And once Nanoski gets going, 2-sport athlete at Ohio's Baldwin Wallace Division III program, football and lacrosse. And what a problem he is for any defensive midi. Here he is again. Instant slide comes, turning, shooting. Ippolini reads the shot again from Eric Lichtner.
Excellent slave. He was right on the doorstep.
And then Ippolini throws it over the top for Mitchell Zulian. Italy crosses onside with an 8-3 lead. Zulian, the trail man. 1 more, and that is short as he was looking for John Piatelli. But Slovakia could not come up with the ground ball. Bell back to the right hand, and he sneaks it past A.J. Babini. 9-3 Italy.
Bell's usually the setup guy, but he felt he had a good matchup on a taller, slower guy, and he took advantage of that.
While fading away a bit to his left, and to attack the defender who was already caught deep. Ryan Bell with a goal and 2 assists, and the entire attack has already produced multiple points for the Italians early third quarter.
Let's go!
Venuto, this time they get a body on him, and it ends up as really our first true scrum, but Venuto still will shuffle it back. And the Slovakians almost like having an animal trapped in the trap, but it escaped. And then a quick low shot, John Piatelli, before Slovakia's zone defense can get set up, 10-3. Three for John Piatelli.
Venuto's so under control. He felt pressure, but he just easily finds one of his players. He's excellent with the stick, just shuffling off this way or that way, anticipating. Not just great at the X, but afterwards he just is very comfortable.
Now pushes forward against Meyer. Venuto looking for his third and has it. Out of all the dominant days so far in Poland, this might top them all for Angelo Venuto. 3 goals now offensively.
What a weapon.
And Slovakia has pulled out every card they have. Venuto, maybe the only thing that's going to slow him down is all that running. He is now going to get a rest. And Brian Vona knows he has to save his legs with the game being what it is at 11-3. The last guy you want to wear out is him. So Owen Vona will face off. And on the pursuit, it'll still be won momentarily by Italy. But the battle ensues. And it's Ippoliti all the way out of cage to jump on it. Lee Borko, you know who'd also be a pretty good face-off guy, I think, if you tried? Michael Ippoliti.
Yeah, definitely.
At least in terms of his exit strategy off the face-off. I don't know what his hands would be like.
A lot of energy. He's always moving. He's always fired up. I thought he was going to try to go coast to coast again on that one.
Piatelli deals it back for Bell. Quick stick inside. Babini. I think he made a save on John Piatelli's look. Slovakia able to set up their zone again, and then precision shooting. Brian Piatelli just able to take his momentum towards goal. And Italy's shooters are catching the ball in the wings already in such a deep area, Lee. 12-3.
You can see the quick sticks. Just a slight little fake, got him off balance, and went opposite pipe.
Nanoski, I think, is going to face off against Venuto. So that is the 4th different Slovakian player to try. Now the athleticism and the size of Nanoski was tried by Coach Jan Flaska to put up a big man against Venuto, but nothing changed.
No, he let him win it. It was just setting up so that he didn't have to run out, and they'd have to bring it back and set their defense up. And
then the rip Zulian with no one coming out to meet him. Zulian hits piping in. Product out of Burlington, Ontario, and played at Brock University, one of the quality Canadian programs in their league, which people don't know a whole lot about in the United States, but there is a league in Canada too for collegiate lacrosse. Mitchell Zulian hits to make it 13-3.
I don't think they expected him to come right in and shoot it.
Timeout taken by Slovakia just before Nanoski was about to face off against Venuto again. Total control here in the third quarter by the Italians after it was an 8-3 game, and Slovakia got the first stop of this quarter. They had a chance to cut it to 4. And then we've seen the slick shooting, John Piatelli, Brian Piatelli, Mitchell Zulian, and Venuto each scoring their third goals of the game in this quarter. And now we are seeing how dangerous Italy is. While they haven't perhaps been mentioned in the first breath about who the championship contenders are to win this tournament, but it would appear to me, Lee Borko, that they very much could defeat anybody in this tournament.
Oh, definitely. The way they've controlled the face-off X and had many more possessions, the defense, the only thing, the defense may have not been tested very much, but if they keep winning like that, they're not going to be.
Yeah, that's the ultimate question, I think, for Brian Vona, asking him still his area of improvement. It's our defensive communication. Playing two teenagers, two guys that are 18 and under on defense, and if the possessions end up 50-50 against another quality team, they may have to grow up in a hurry.
And they haven't been tested very much because they pretty much, the offense is dominated with possessions.
And in the international game, they tend to be much slower tempoed games. There is no shot clock yet in international lacrosse. That's coming for the tournaments in 2027. It's pushed ahead by Stanislav Pergot. So it looked like Pergot was intentionally pushing that face-off to the D-midi, and Michelangelo Brusamarlero of Italy. So he was conceding the face-off, but trying to just avoid the fast break. Now Piatelli, the shot hit the pipe. John Piatelli just had to hesitate for a second. As Slovakia battles, and Italy winning this ground ball war in a compromised position, and they're granted the timeout to talk it over here 13-3, so they keep it.
That was a nice move with the hesitation. I think he was letting the guy clear through so he could get it, or was hoping for a screen on that shot.
Italy to talk it over. They have the ball outside the box, leading 13-3, breaking this one open, en route to finishing group play 4-0. And it'll be all about seedings and matchups, as coaches have told me. They're anxious to see how that'll look, which will be released in about an hour and a half. So just as soon as the final game is finished here. I think we are a little bit ahead of the other game taking place tonight in Wrocław before pool play is history. The other game taking place right now, which started at 7 local time, Israel taking on Norway. So that game actually will be the last one. That won't finish for like another about hour and change.
So far, the only team I haven't seen play is Ireland. I tried to catch one at the end of one of the game, but it was not a close game.
Yeah, it's already lopsided, and Ireland's defense, Lee, I can tell you, is very good, and I'm not sure if their defense has been tested yet, but they have truly smothered people. And while they've had lopsided scores, their defense appears to be the strength, turning people over from an angle. And Gabriel Serbu's shot is wide. Missing to the short side for the lefty on the wide side of the field. Back against the Slovakian zone. Now John Piatelli up top. Serbu swings. And Zulian takes a jab. And then he's forced back nicely by Adam. Swung by Corsi here to the near side. Brian Piatelli. And he finishes softly high.
So much confidence, just a quick little move. Had 2 defenders there and just went right around him.
Brian Piatelli with 4 goals here. And the precision shooting in tight for Italy. Each time they catch it, they're still able to take just 1 dodge and they're already around the crease. against a packed-in Slovakian zone. They have not had to shoot from the perimeter.
Let's go, Mitchell!
And Venuto wins another from Matusz Marani. But, oh, hold on a second. The call is against Italy.
I wonder if they came across the line on that too soon.
Slovakia having it with under 4 minutes left in the third. Schutz outside. Chernak. Oh, with a rip for the lefty. Hefty lefty Ivan Chernak. 14-4. He was able to get his muscle behind that shot. Schutz on the feed. And that ends a 6-0 run in the quarter for Italy.
They definitely set that up well. It was interesting. They're playing a little catch behind the at X and suddenly broke out. And nice pass. He had a lot of time and room on that shot and ripped it.
Next man to try facing off, the fifth for Slovakia, is Christian Babiny. Heading into his senior year at St. Anne's Belfield in Virginia. And he's an attackman. Venuto trips up. And Babiny knocks it down. This one ends in maybe the best scrum we've had. As it's kicked back, the best scrum we've had with Venuto facing off. Italy still trying to recover through Pelliccioni back, and Slovakia has possession. So they're able to win a Venuto taken face-off. Who would have thought it? That Christian Babiny facing off for the first time, not a face-off guy at all, is able to somehow at least slow down Venuto and get the ball on the ground somehow with a strip.
It was also the first time they actually went after Venuto after he got the ball. They've been settling back on defense the other times.
Lichtner turned back by Bruce Morello. Lichtner trying to stay with his left hand, and Michelangelo Bruce-Morello jars it free and comes up with the ground ball. And his transition pass is behind his teammate Gennari, and Italy will transition and have it.
A little too much one-on-one on that one. They scored well when they moved the ball around. I don't think that's really what coach wanted.
Bell swings wide. Into the game, Massimiliano Bonazzoni. 19 years old, native of Italy. He is in an offensive midfield spot. And look at Bell shift in and out past Adam. Shovels outside. John Piatelli looked for the extra. Brian Piatelli, and still hits a difficult shot with under a half minute left in the quarter. Oh, a bouncer for a righty shooter going away from goal.
He's just so under control. He's got shots from any angle. Just so difficult to stop.
Brian Piatelli with 5.
He almost looks slow, like he's in slow motion, but you know, he's just because he's just so under control. He's reading the defense so well and just picks his move.
The Piatellis from Rentham, Massachusetts, and for Brian Piatelli on tremendous Cornell teams. Was a high school All-American at St. Sebastian's, where both Piatelli brothers attended, and he did not score a ton of goals, just 1 year where he got a chance to play a little bit. His senior year, only 2 games played, 18 career goals for Brian Piatelli, but still very talented, and the two brothers play very similarly. 10 seconds left. Samuel Postma. And Postma will take the bouncer, and Ippoliti was ready for it with 2 seconds to go as he heaves it down to close out the third quarter. 15-4 Italy. The story there, precision shooting.
Oh, most definitely.
The kind that makes you shake your head. Brian Piatelli up to 5. John Piatelli, Angelo Venuto, Mitchell Zulian all up to 3. 15-4 Italy on their way to completing an undefeated run through pool play. Back in a moment on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV.
Oh yeah, that's definitely. So you have to be patient and take him once or twice. But then again, you don't always have that much time.
No, it was silly.
Start of the fourth quarter. Italy able to separate in that period. They had a 6-0 run before it was finally answered. Angelo Venuto motors ahead. And the shot this time fought off by the new goalie on for Slovakia. Backup goalie Marion Templeton Jadrone, who is in for the first time. And the ball thrown away. Michael Ippoliti still in cage here for the Italians, although backup goalie Lorenzo Serloretti has been warming up. So Templeton Jadrone greeted by an instant shot by Venuto. Owen Vona for Lietti. So Slovakia will give a breather for A.J. Babini, trailing by 11 with 15 minutes to go. They did just win a faceoff that Angelo Venuto took, which could help them because inevitably Slovakia is going to face yet another excellent face-off guy. England having a great duo, so does Germany. Tremendous face-off man who played at York College, Pennsylvania, and Vinny Pasipanti of Latvia that really kept the game for Latvia close against England. That looms. Israel with a quality face-off guy. So at some point, Slovakia is going to run into another, maybe not as good as Venuto, but in that territory. Corsi. Here comes the slide, and Matteo Corsi handles it well. Pergot back to playing defense with the pole. Bell rifled it in, looking for Brian Piatelli, and it's picked up here by Slovakia with the first 2 minutes gone of the fourth quarter as Mark Lichtner transitions. Slovakia has tried 5 different face-off guys, but the last one, and Christian Babini, that was the one that worked to try an offensive midi. And he created the longest scrum of the game. Schutz Mark Lichtner for Schutz, but we have a whistle.
He come out of the box.
There is a flag down. Schutz exited the box. There was a flag down against Italy, so we'll see Slovakia's man-up unit. We did not have any penalties in the third quarter.
I believe Italy was offsides. 7 guys on.
Let's go, defense!
'77, Thomas Lichtner on the far side, one of the 3 Lichtners on the Slovakian team. So he's the lefty they bring on man up. Schutz. Flaska for Postma. Up top, Schutz will fire. And backup goes to Ippoliti. He was deemed closer to it because the shot missed to his left. And now Ippoliti, long ball ahead, knocked down by Jackson Hartja. And Schutz back on it, but we're all even in this fourth quarter. Nanaski across, Schutz with room and time, and the bouncer beats Ippoliti. Good look from Nanaski to go to the backside, 15-5.
They've been causing some turnovers. Italy's got a little sloppy on the clears, and but that was great. That's their big shooter. That's their big offensive guy. They made sure they got it to him with time and room, and he finished well.
3 goals for Griffin Schutz. And Nanaski made it easy for him. Schutz, even from that deep, still felt he had to go with the bouncer to beat Ippoliti.
He's super quick in goal. And like you said, he reads the shooter very well.
And procedure called on Venuto for the first time that I have seen here, Lee Borko.
There goes your theory.
Yeah, so it is possible. Venuto was pleading his case that it was the Slovakian faceoff guy that went early. That can be very deceiving. Sometimes they do catch the second guy. I've heard faceoff guys tell me that there is even an art to that aspect of making the other guy jump. And the pass for Postma, and Postma just somehow didn't see it. Owen Vona all the way across the field for Zulian. John Piatelli banged as he went through. And Zulian to run 6-on-6 as they bring back Gabriel Serbu. First midfield still going here for the Italians. The afternoon has really cooled off. These are not deep rosters. You get just 22 spots. Quick stick in front. Bell throws open John Piatelli. Wow, that ball came into the stick and then out even faster. 16-5.
That was an excellent pass, right on his stick where he needed to be for that quick, the quick stick goal. He's such a good passer.
Fourth for John Piatelli. And Italy using all space that they create and then the defense gives them. Venuto, and this time Christian Babini does not have his number, and Venuto has his vengeance. Corsi swinging for Serbu. Bell. What a one-hand whip that was to Corsi.
It's hard to be accurate with that one-handed pass.
And then fading on the shot, Massimiliano Bonazzoni. His dad in Giacomo is the team manager, greatly responsible for helping build youth lacrosse in Italy. And the two Bonazzoni brothers here on the roster, Alessandro and Massimiliano, and another goal for the Italians.
I think the goalie was anticipating not on the pipe. He was thinking he was going to go opposite pipe and snuck it in there.
Matteo Corsi on the finish. His first, so only Gabriel Serbu has yet to score among the six offensive starters for Italy.
Let's go! Run, run!
Bruce Morello has the clean face-off right to him, but he's tied up. Postma forced it ahead.
There you go, there you go. Nice.
As it pops into the stick of Eric Lichtner.
Let's go defense!
Slovakia can work on some more offense. This is the most goals they've given up. And of course, the obvious, spending a ton of time on defense. Flaska.
Yeah. Good D.
Postma. And he misses low. New goalie is Lorenzo Serloretti on for the Italians. Lorenzo's from Milano, and he plays for the Painkillers Milano team. Told the story in the last game, Lee. And Giacomo Bonazzoni over there started the program and the team in Milano, the Painkillers, because he's a chemist. And also on occasion needed some help because he was still playing, as you would certainly relate to as you sit next to me with a knee brace after suffering a recent injury and having surgery.
I can definitely relate.
Ryan Bell in. We'll hit the 4-minute mark. Italy's precision shooting has been impressive. Loads of assisted goals. And they have gotten to their spots all day. Bell was looking. Then they'll take a shot from the wing and score there, John Piatelli.
Beautiful low to high shot.
So John Piatelli now matches brother Brian with 5. And Bell on another assist.
Bell's so patient. He's not. He never really looks like he forces anything. If it's not there, he just resets it.
That's what Ryan Bell did over the course of his career at Providence College that just finished up. Drawn back to Lietti. Or rather, Bruce Morello. And Postma has it. Ryan Bell, 49 assists this year, including an 8-assist game against Holy Cross. Led the country in assists per game with 3.3. All-time leader in points and assists in Providence history. And the single-season assist record with 49. We have a call here against Italy. So Slovakia will go man up here with 2:35 to play. Schutz dashed to the front, and he beats Sir Loretti.
Looks like he had a shorty on there. He just said, I have a mismatch, and just rushed the goal for an easy shot.
4 goals to lead Slovakia for Griffin Schutz in a losing effort. As we'll hit the 2-minute mark in a second, the clock will stop on any whistle then. Actually, we just hit 2, so now the clock is unofficial on our screen. It's being kept by the 4th official on the far sideline. And Venuto for one more, and calmly will play it back to Lietti. Zulian searches for Gabriel Serbu. Should be approaching the final minute.
Looks like they're just going to run the clock down, but...
And Lee evaluate Italy in a knockout round against some of the other giants that they're going to have to go through and probably beat at least 2 of them. What do you see from them?
With their dominance at face-off and the firepower on offense, they definitely could win this whole thing. Again, the defense hasn't been tested, but that's mainly because they've been on offense so long. That could be the question mark. Say some of you said how Ireland has a strong defense. That could be a difference maker. You know, getting the turnovers and having even possessions could make the difference in that kind of game.
Gabriel Serbu with the goal. Curl cut up top to get Italy at 19-6. And in a slow down type game, be curious to see how Italy's attackmen, if they don't get the ball for long stretches, will that influence them at all? And with the way the games get played among top competition with no shot clock, as Venuto wins this one cleanly to himself, probably the final face-off. Teams might go 4 to 5 minutes without the ball.
Yeah, that's without a shot clock. That's definitely, I mean, that could be a strategy against them. Keep it out of their hands.
Feed to the front. And a flag is out. Giacomo Morandini, second midfield, getting some time for Italy. An elbow is shown for a minute against Slovakia. So with 19 seconds showing, there will be another man up for Italy. Martin Kramar took the foul.
Well, that just sounds like you're asking for it. Although I thought when this happened to my finger, I thought I broke this. Like I know?
Yes. For who? Timeout. For 20 seconds.
It just got it's just like a bruise. But since it's under the hair, it's like gross. But like it doesn't hurt.
Timeout is taken by Italy.
I don't know.
Yeah, because that was like easily.
I don't think it was Italy. I think he was trying to make a personnel change on defense.
So Slovakia will get their 5 out here. And we'll see if Italy will bother shooting before they will look ahead, rest up, and then find out their next game and how they'll match up and what seed they will get. If that'll mean that they get tomorrow off and get a bye. Skip pass across, that's through the stick of Alessandro Bonazzoni and out of bounds. So Slovakia will have it with under 9 seconds left. Fascinated to see what the matchups will end up. If Italy gets even a top 3 spot, you figure England is going to be there. There are 5 unbeatens. That's the problem. All 5 group winners finished undefeated. So it'll be very difficult to sort out who will be 1 through 5.
Yeah, one of them will have to play a play-in game.
And that's one extra, perhaps tough game that 5th place team will have to go through. 19-6 is the final. Italy completes pool play, 4-0. And they put in, so far, a tournament high 19 goals for themselves. The Piatelli brothers, sure having the time of their lives here, playing together again after finishing up their Cornell careers, each with 5 goals. And Ryan Bell engineering the offense. He had 4 assists. Angelo Venuto, 95% quite easily. Just supreme dominance at the faceoff X, also contributing 3 goals. Mitchell Zulian with 3 goals. Bell also added 1 goal on offense. That's the final here for Lee Borko. My name is Ralph Benarchik, saying so long and goodbye, and we'll talk to you tomorrow with continuing coverage of the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championship on Lax TV and World Lacrosse TV.
I'm here on the sidelines with number 13, Angelo Venuto, after Team Italy defeats Slovakia 19-6. Angelo, dominant performance throughout pool play, 4-0. Describe what's it been like as face-off, get-off. Also 3 goals today. Just describe your performance today.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to do that without the guys on the wings. They communicate me all the time, let me know if they're open or where to go with the ball. So, I got to give a lot of respect to them today.
Another question that I have for you is adjusting to officials here at the international level. Tell me what's it like for you to come here and just immediately sort of jump right into that.
Yeah, well, I'm actually currently playing at the Lacrosse Club in Australia. Shout out to those guys. So I'm playing international rules for the last month and a half with them. So I've been, getting prepared for these, through that.
Awesome. Now, did my research. Your head coach, he was actually your high school coach as well, right? So I want to know what's it been like to sort of reunite with that connection.
I mean, honestly, it's been a blessing. I love playing for Coach Vana. I was itching to come out and play for him again, and when he called me to let me know to come out here, I was just like, this is the most awesome opportunity. He's one of the best coaches I've ever had, so it's been truly a blessing to be out here with him.
Awesome. One more time here with number 13, Angelo Venuto, as Team Italy defeats Slovakia 19-6 at the European Men's Lacrosse Championships.